ABS 88.5 FM Heartbeat of the East. And today we have two analysts with us right here in the studios. We want to welcome Dr. Dennis Ekemizie, past Vice President and Chairman and Vice Chairman of Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR. Good morning and welcome to Press Review.
Good morning and welcome, listener. Talk.
Yeah. Let's also welcome social, environmental, and administrative pharmacist, Dr. Emma Udabe. Welcome to Press Review.
Thank you. Good morning, listeners.
All right, moving on to the trending stories from ABS website. We've rolled them out. We'd like to have your opinion and thoughts on the trending stories. Remember that you can join us on Facebook at Anambra Broadcasting Service and join the live stream over there. Drop your comments and we'll do well to read them out. You can as well start now to send in your WhatsApp messages to the number 0705-113-8812. That's the WhatsApp number, and you have Facebook. Drop your comments. Let's have your thoughts before we go on to open the phone lines.
Right, who fires the first salvo?
My go on top. My go on top.
So where do we start? We
get a new CP.
Anambra State, that's the ABS News headlines.
Yeah.
Well, public service is usually a call to duty, and public officers and servants use the opportunity to write their names on the sands of times. The police commissioner that had just been removed came, probably trying to do his best, and now he's gone. But it's worrisome that part of the news said there was celebrations. People were actually happy to see him go. That shows something must have gone wrong. As we welcome the new police commissioner, we hope he will learn that it is a service to the people and for which he is going to give account someday, not just to the people, but to also his creator. In all we do, let's strive to do it with the fear of God, especially when it has to do with the security of lives and properties of the people. So we commend the Police Service Commission for probably doing the needful, listening to the cry of the people, so it will seem. We want to believe they had credible intelligence, and then we ask the new man to please ensure that he works in tandem with the governor and government of Anambra State to assure the people that their lives and the security of their properties matter. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me go to young entrepreneurs of Nkwele Zunaka shoe manufacturing market call for government support to improve locally made shoes. Just no government no. One youth, two skills, or even more. And often entrepreneurs, people who take risk, people who take initiatives, people who are innovative and creative. We can get some training. So your government provide a viable environment, security of life and property. We below their manufacturing. Because of the qualifying government. What Mekenanya Nebanya Malo Ibanya Itohana cooperative society of producers. All of Fabanyas into it, into localization of industries, these small scale industries. When you can leather, when you can Mandina ma Kenafia, Bokolo, ma pin, ma even does, it got as one Obliana industrial hub. Industrial hub again, yes, if I can, they will start to. Then maybe I could never see if then form also market clusters. gain na if na produce. Then reach out for markets. Also, let them also explore this opportunity of online training, because you find out that some of them also go to Nyobala. So you go into online training, online marketing, exhibition, na even those, so that also government, entrepreneurship, self-made people. On from the government, then the government ya batakwabo. In the tax. And tax. If I be the lawful, and we can never tax holidays. If I just go to higher tax, maybe for the next 3-4 years, we'll develop more. And if they develop more, they employ more people. More especially employing members of their family. It was good. Then they can also see when you have income, then increase in production also. And also when you work to check insecurity, because when you or man will lie or Kusanata, my man gave you man the other ones. So it will also help to control crime.
Yeah,
so
they were meaningfully engaged.
Okay, man. They were meaningfully engaged. Yeah. Yes, meaningful. Because they mean. So we are meaningfully engaged. We can look at our effect. So all the very very important part. Okay, the importance. All the very important part. The government never vanya. These cooperative officers should also monitor them. Yeah. So that Ramal Kavasi never advice. And I always urge the local government chairman and the local government even assign me an officer. Gane Jenafu even done guidance and counseling. Not even needed to do what? To develop and grow.
Okay. All right. The phone lines are open. You can place a call or send in messages. The lines to call are 0706 538 1320.
0904 9560 826. You can as well drop your comment in the comment section. If you're watching us live on Facebook, we'll read your comment out.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Habit of the East.
Champions.
Otutoma. Abu Ambassador Leader. Okay, two papas and under parents.
All right, you're welcome. Make it short and simple.
Actually, Maka President Tinubu tried to the Senate to increase budget 2025. In the budget increase the problem with implementation of the budget. Because last year budget, there was some certain amount based on some certain things for workers. Up to today, workers have not achieved anything. Now we are talking about 2025 budget. Now the 2024 budget, they never implementation. They never implement. We are now trying about 25. It's increase. Now there are some institutions, age arrears, for them to clear the arrears. When I came the last year, they never cleared the arrears. Now we are talking about 2025. All this increase in budget, is it for the good for workers or for only their politicians, only them in the house, only them in the national chamber?
All right, thank you. You've made your point. Thank you very much. Begin to conclude. You've made your point. There's no need of stretching it. Okay. Nobody is here, so we'll move on.
All right, so moving on to the trending stories. Okay, someone is selected this call before we move on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome to Press Review.
Good morning, good people in studio.
Good morning. Please go straight to the point.
Yes. Okwu agbakakwanu mana na-ekwu maka na ọkwụsị ụzọ na analụbe mma. Biko, gọvanọ anyị ka anyị na-ayọ oge ọrụ ugbo eruokwe ka agba etu esi nyere anyị aka biko maka na onye ya agbachi ihe oriri ọkụ ya. Ebe ahụ na-asiri ya ọhụrụ na nsị mmadụ ya nọdụ ya. Biko ka agba etu emere anyị biko veteran obodo ndị dike ụlọ ekele unu ka ọ dị.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the trending stories.
Somebody
Okay.
after now. Hello.
Hello, yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, eventually,
Watawaga, you have to call us back. Your line is breaking. It's not smooth. You have to call us back. Yeah. Okay.
Moving on to the trending stories from the national dailies, kicking off with stories coming from Daily Independent. You have PDP crisis. BOT backs governors, recognizes Ude Okoye as party scribe, supports March 13 for PDP NEC meeting. Dogara attributes Boko Haram other security challenges to bad governance. Electoral fraud court jails another professor in Akwa Ibom. NEITI mounts pressure on Senate for solid minerals sector reforms. Reps urge federal government to declare Ondo coastal community disaster zone. Have reps ask NCC to probe illegal linking of NIN by telecom providers. Still on Daily Independent, Tinubu jerks up 2025 budget from 49.7 trillion naira to 54.2 trillion naira. Departs for France ahead of AU summit in Addis Ababa. Ganduje says Tinubu's reforms painful but unavoidable. Receives Ned Nwoko into APC, says APC will take over Delta. Obasanjo, Sultan, Khan, others preach religious tolerance for United Nation. These are trending stories from Daily Independent.
And from the Daily Times, Speaker Abbas inaugurates Committee on Southeast Development Commission Election Tribunal. INEC tenders 3 documents in defense of Governor Okpebolo. Petro backs federal government's ban on crude exportation, says will reduce price of petroleum products. Still trending here, reps lament telecoms violation of data protection laws. PDP crisis, Udokoye gets BOT North to remain as secretary. Finally, Ned Nwoko's defection to APC sparks row at Senate's plenary.
All right, moving on to the next national daily, The Guardian. 5 years on, poor funding, capacity hobble, Amotekun's mandate in Southwest. Tinubu okays 65 years retirement age for health workers. Federal government eyes diversification, infrastructure, security in 4.53 trillion naira review of 2025 budget. PDP trustees move meeting to hotel over security concerns. Dangote begins fuel export to Saudi Arabia, pushes capacity to 550,000 barrels per day. Nigeria's output growth may slip to 0.8%, says report. Suspended Ogun monarch remanded in correctional center over assault. Federal government, WFP, invests 1.2 billion naira, $2.5 billion to tackle hunger, nutrition. And finally, Oando rewards shareholders with 1.28 billion shares. These are the trending stories from The Guardian.
From the Tribune, government officials paid 100% for same hospital projects 5 times without construction. That's a report credited to ICPC boss, says another listed wife signing law on payroll. Fire killed 17 children, injured 16 others in Zamfara Al-Majri School. Like governors, PDP BOT endorses Ude Okoye as national secretary, wants him sworn in immediately. It's an invitation to anarchy. That's from Anyang. Tinubu approves, or we've taken care of that. Declare Ondo oil producing coastal communities disaster zone. Reps tell federal government. Suspended Ogun monarch fails to meet bail conditions, remanded in a Laro prison. Tinubu writes Senate 6 increase of a 2025 budget to 54.2 trillion naira. And finally, from here, CBN restricts BDCs to one dealer bank per week for $25,000 forex purchase.
All right, and from Vanguard, the experts warn of dangers as Tinubu jerks up for 2025 budget to 54.2 trillion naira. Electoral fraud court sentences varsity don Professor Udok to 3 years in jail. Some estranged ECOWAS members may opt to return, coming from presidency. Lagos Assembly crisis Miranda survives as Tinubu fails to meet GAC team. Still on Vanguard, petrol ex-depot price drops by 2.7% to 895 naira per litre. On PDP crisis, BOT orders National Working Committee to swear in Udo Okoye as National Secretary. And from the world of sports, 2026 FIFA World Cup, Super Eagles receive Okoye boost ahead Rwanda-Zimbabwe ties. And finally, from the Vanguard is how government officials paid for one hospital project 5 times. That's coming from ICPC chairman. Yeah. That's as much you can take for now. Let's go on to have your thoughts before we go to the rest of the national dailies.
Okay, we have 2 minutes to talk about, so let's start.
Corruption here and there, PDP crisis, the fuel price, and the lots.
Invitation to anarchy by recognition of his factional or parallel chairman or secretary, rather. So let's have your thoughts.
Well, let's start with one news item that appeared on practically all the dailies and which should be of public interest to all of us, that the president jacks up the 2025 budget from 49.7 trillion to 54.2 trillion.
Yeah.
Yes, we should be happy that there's no more money to meet the needs of the people. Injecting an extra 4-point-something trillion naira into the budget, which we were told arose from the extra income declared by the customs and other income generating agencies. And this money to also be applied through the Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, and into the solid mineral area. We just hope that budgeting in Nigeria is usually done based on the needs of the people. If that be so, then this is a welcome development. But if it is still the old system of where those on top budget without taking into consideration the yearning needs of the people, then it becomes cause for disaster. And as we go to invest in the solid mineral sector, we also need to be mindful as a country of a statement credited recently to former Governor Adams Oshiomhole, where he said that some military generals, he said, are involved in shortchanging the country through in the solid mineral sector, wherein they also get involved in probably diverting revenue that should come to all of us. The presidency should do the much they could to plug that area, because if we so do, aside from the liquid gold oil, we will begin to get so much from this solid mineral, and there will be more money available for government to attend to the needs of the country. And we also believe that we'll do as much as we can to curb all areas of corruption. It is not a welcome thing from what ICPC put in there that government paid for one hospital project 5 times and yet it's not yet done. We see that happen often. In most budget presentations, not just the federal government, some states, you see provisions made for one thing over and over. One trendy one, a government that has been buying vehicles annually, you just see that as if even furniture, you don't change them every year.
Yeah.
And yet, the masses, the civil servants, we still see them wallowing in abject poverty. So let us place the people at the center of budget making in Nigeria. That's just what I'll say. Thank you.
Well, let me look at first the issue of PDP problem, which lost power 10 years ago. And there's this Marxism theory that internal contradiction in the system destroy the system. And if I have not tackling PDP, I'm Ebu America, Albania Nasi, Kedeka the internal democracy. Because a Jajuba already ọnwa na mgbe ka mara akpụ isi ka ọ na-agụba adụrụ nkọ. Then ọbanya n'ife anyị na-asị the least conspiracy. Onwere ndị na-eji destabilize efe. Of course, in some places, I say na the ruling party they destabilize the other parties so that they can have weak opposition. So onye ọ bụrụ n'eziokwu efu na well ha ga-ejisi ike to wriggle out so that be able to come up again 10 years about o tekwala aka mana ọfịala arụ. Then
how will the party or PDP allow that destabilization if it's possible?
Well, it's possible because na nna anyị ukwu Chuba, Dr. Chuba Ọkadigbo si anyị mgbe na ị na-agakwa n'ụzọ politics ma na o nwere ihe a na-akpọ banana peel ihe ju unele a na-edibilichi etọwa n'ụzọ ite ịma ime ọ bụrụ tụọ naanị onye ka ọ si na ọnya banana peel na o so na-emekwu ndị mmadụ ife na politics. So ọ bụ na ị na-aga ị na-ene anya n'azụ malụ nke bụ nke n'azụ ịta. And then it's issue also issue of leadership. Leadership by transactional method. Okay, now I got a sinner Israel election somewhere, they got 50 million. If we are now not part of that destabilization, part of even when you use one again, which is of corruption. So I'm suggesting that PDP as a strong party, which they claim they are, the largest party in Africa then, should also do internal house clinic so that they'll be able to know who is who. Of course, we know now some of them, somebody like me, part of their taproot. Because I grew up Anambra. So minister na APC, then party member na PDP. Because you can't serve two masters at a time and serve them correctly. These are some of the things. Banana pills, they're on their way. So if I'm not internal house clinic.
And Daniel has just perceived that as an invitation to anarchy. Do you agree with him?
Well, invitation to anarchy, and their own internal PDP.
Yeah.
And also, how would it affect the nation? But the question which well, it may or it may not. However, obviously, I find more a threat. And then also go for an alarmist, so which may not go well. Or to come back, I have to work on a monarch. Who is a monarch? His Royal Highness. Sinanga, His Royal Majesty. Because no the difference. A monarch is a kingdom. His Royal Highness is a chiefdom. So even to the level of a monarch, you can see that condom. That is humility, not minding your position. And I'm happy that people intervened. And also, social media dicta, danger flow at times. So, you are finished. Even after the monarch. Oh, but go to prison. You go by Naja or Dabaze.
And they'll meet in rebel condition.
I will meet in rebel condition. Banana peel now. My banana peel in million. So no, I'm going to do that. Oh, yeah, we can do now. We need to get banana peel on another one. So all are not prison for 30 days. I will make a road here.
Okay.
Those a sleepwear monarch, that we are monarch does not mean that you should humiliate the people. Because only kind of buying a go the bad acts of feudalism. Feudalism, so it should be stopped.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. Yes. Good morning again.
Good morning to you.
Oh, what a my brother, my brother,
Thank you very much.
I don't know how to put it that PDP, a party that ruled this country for this long, do not put their acts together as opposition. They are now opposition to themselves. And we are talking about Wike. I'm telling them no, but they need to be the local government and how it progressed. And I'm a we kept that root of PDP.
Yeah.
I beg to disagree with that. The truth of the matter is because PDP has not come together. Who is the weakest to start with? They have one greater problem than Wike there. Wike is just a kind of taking advantage of what is happening in PDP to do what he's doing. If they remove Wike today, nothing happens. And you even know that Wike is out of that place. Who are the political heavyweights in Nigeria? Wike is not one of them. So PDP should be ashamed of themselves that up to this very moment they are talking about secretary, and that's what they are driving themselves, fighting in their party house. It's unfortunate, and that's what kind of leaders we have in Nigeria. Those are the people that will lead us tomorrow. God bless Anambra State. Good morning.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, good morning, FBS.
Good morning.
Heartbeat of the East.
Champions.
Yes, the guest in the studio. Good morning, sir. This is Marika Francis. I'm calling you now all the way from Obunka in Orumba South. I want to talk about the professor that was jailed for 3 years as a result of electoral fraud. I think that is a welcome development. It's going to be a big lesson to other co-professors, which we entrusted everything to their hands, and at the same time they bastardized the system. And I think the federal government should also send this to the judges. Also, bastardize the mantle of judiciary is for common man. It's no more. That slogan is no more there because the judges have destroyed it. They should send that development to that side. That's my submission this morning. God bless you.
Bless you too.
Thank you.
Let's welcome this caller too. Hello. Please, straight to the point.
What can you recommend?
Yeah, all right.
No.
PDP, my own theater from PDP to APC. Estimate I'm a win election, governorship election and data. Data state is for PDP. Unless you question seat. And then I hear PDP. The present government is very weak. Okay, so we come in order. Appeal court. No, the other man is secretary. Police now back here. Imagine, because I'm weak here. I hear what is strong institution, not strong person, strong man. But I think on the legal order, they should obey the order. Unless they can counter order from the higher court. That would be the way to go. And I have to talk here now. I'm ashamed to PDP itself. Like all of your colleagues say they. I am among those who are ashamed to PDP. Darling.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, we have some other stories from the national dailies. We still have stories coming from Punch. It says Dangote Refinery, FCCPC defer as NNPCL insists on fuel import. Okay, with that on PDP crisis, we have secession. Nigeria didn't learn from civil war, says Zagara. Transporters, NLC chapters, TUC reject highway tolling. And Edo Tribunal, INEC lists 5 witnesses over governorship pool. Tinubu demands school safety as fire kills 17 in Zamfara Islamic School. Nollywood filmmaker jailed 5 years for drug trafficking. Oguna South Falana receives the elderly victim, plans charges against remanded monarch. These are the trending stories from the Punch.
Just about 2 points from the Daily Trust. We have a Senator case, a sack of 3 wrecks, and finally, world reacts to Trump's bid for U.S. to take over Gaza Strip. Okay, back to the analysts.
Well, let me. We had a story earlier on the president raising the retirement age of healthcare workers to 65.
65 years.
Yeah. And much as, yes, we see that as a welcome development for some persons after all, judges and judiciary workers retire at 70. But we need to look at the underlying problem. It's not even if we raise the retirement age to 70, and we don't have people replacing those who are getting old. The problem will continue to be there. The problem we have today is that the country has become inhabitable or hostile to young healthcare professionals, nurses, pharmacists, doctors. As soon as they graduate, they are looking for a way out of the country. So we must do something to fix our economy to make them stay. Otherwise, if we keep increasing this age, 70, 80, one day they will all retire and there will be nobody to take over. And when you look at what is also happening at the global stage, we now have a sheriff in town in the United States, Donald Trump, a man, while he was running for presidency, he told the people that he was going to be a dictator from day one. And not too many persons took him serious. And he's doing exactly that. So countries now must begin to get their things right in their homes. We must begin to put our house in order.
Yeah.
And also when we are talking about it, our health sector is about collapsing. Because with most of the actions so far taken by Donald Trump in his country, America, stop pulling out of WHO, cancelling the USAID grants, so many grants and all that, those are things that have been sustaining our healthcare sector. In fact, we may not know it, but in the last 10 days, a lot of healthcare workers have been laid off. Yes, it happens. If you have anybody working in most of these organizations that has to do with HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, even malaria programs and all that, a good number of them have been asked to go home and rest. Many more will still be asked to go. So the fact is that we must begin to get our healthcare system right. We must begin to get our economy right. We must begin to get our security right so that our young people can remain here and enjoy themselves, and we also benefit from training them. Because as people get older, in fact, we should encourage persons to retire even before getting to 60.
Yeah.
So this issue of getting to 65, where will their children get into? So that's just my take.
Okay,
Thank you.
The question, secession, Nigeria didn't learn from civil war, says Dogara. Dogara past Speaker of House of Representatives. And the question, yes, the realities on the ground, the problem, but still exist. Not minding recently the 3 R's. Rehabilitation, reconciliation, and reconstruction weren't implemented to the benefit of the Southeast. Though recently the Southeast Development Commission has come on board, even though the North Central Development Commission yesterday was also signed. So, and then the political indices, just like I said earlier, the banana peels on the way and every other thing, the PDP crisis, which the threat also came from one of the PDP leaders. And these are part of the manifestations of what happened in the past that ignited the Civil War. So our politicians also should be careful in the way they manage their sentiments. I always advise them that could they imbibe the culture of this emotional intelligence, then being empathic with the people they claim they are leading. And these are some of the things. Very soon, about going to census, we wouldn't know how the census, this year before census, how the census will be handled. And the census was part of the problem that ignited the Civil War and some other Western crises that Ghana, Rivers also, which the crisis is again. If on a political indices, political indicators, but part of what generate a crisis in Nigeria, and that is what Dogara is saying. Being a Speaker of House of Representatives, we need the opportunity to, and a lawyer also, to know more. So they should also leadership recruitment.
But why is it that when they are in the corridors of power, they won't do the needful, but when they come out, they begin to see what is wrong and what's not wrong? Why wouldn't they address it while they are in the corridors of power?
Yes,
wait until they are out.
Yes, at times I'm a judge. My hands are tied. And then
Let's look at it. Nigeria be a place where you buy power. He was being invited to come and eat.
Okay.
And when they are eating, you don't talk. You observe good manners.
Okay.
So now potassium have to only see. Okay. But that is why one of our brothers some time ago, as he was running for political office, they prioritize their production over consumption. Even in our my PDP internal problem and people are looking at consumption, sharing the cake. Nobody or they so cool how to bake the cake, gather the ingredients. Bake cake. But everybody in the table can the cake. We should prioritize baking the cake.
Yeah.
Let's work first before you leave it.
All right, so at this point, this is where we come to the end of Fresh Review for today. We want to thank you so much for coming along, Dr. Dennis Ikemezie, past Vice President, Vice Chairman of Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR. Thank you so much for coming on Fresh Review this morning.
Thank you for the invitation.
Right.
Yes. We also want to thank you for coming, Dr. Emmanuel Dakbe, social, environmental, and administrative pharmacist. We thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Let's always put the people first in all we do. Thank you.
Yes.
And don't chop alone.
All right, my people, this all comes to the end of Fresh Review. Like I said before, my name is Uche Chukwu Ebonam.
And I'm Roy Ekunife, thanking you for joining us, believing you are now in the know, having digested all the newspaper headlines, and you are ready to do the needful to make Nigeria better, contribute to your quota. Let the change start with you.
Up next is Heartbeat, a dawn game show. Go nowhere. The day is just starting. They just break.